Okay, so it is almost mid-April here, and I am doing an updated scheduling video, updates, all of that good stuff. So, I have to say, first and foremost, if you've gotten to my website, great. There has been some issues with Weebly, which has recently been sold, the creator of my website, and their service, their IT servers have been up and down. So, likely, I'm already working on a new website. When I go back to Morocco at some point this summer here, I'm most likely going to go down to just virtual sessions in my videos. And so that would be the time. I've had people ask me about virtual and Skype shows and things like this. I really will say that what I'll offer is sort of a monthly program, which includes the videos and which will include a certain amount of, video chats and things like that at that time. But right now I'm not really able to offer it because I'm doing in-person sessions for my remaining 6, 7, 8 weeks here in the United States. So because I'm a full-time homeschooling mother, I have a special needs child. I've always homeschooled even before the pandemic. It is getting close to exam time. I'm also a fashion design student, and I'm with an online store and fashion stuff, so that's kind of my other full-time job. So my Tantra business is my part-time job. And why that's important to mention is that generally people have this impression that I'm available like 7 days a week, all day long, at last minute. I have to tell people that for me, my preference is always advanced scheduling because I usually work my Tantra appointments around my other commitments regarding my son and regarding my fashion stuff. So I'm not always available at the last minute. If you're trying for that day, a good time to try would be in the morning hours because I'll kind of know my day and if there's any cancellations have cropped up. But I really don't just kind of sit around waiting for appointments. I kind of go in when there is an appointment already scheduled, or if I'm already there in the area. I wouldn't assume that I'm always available even within the hour. With that said, I do have two methods of scheduling. My preference is always to have some sort of notice about it. Could be notice, could be several hours, but with deposit held time. And that means that, you want an exact date and time, and you want me to reserve that time for you. You'll get the cheaper rates when you do, and that would be, all listed there. If you're what I call a walk-in to me is someone who is literally there and is ready to walk in. And, the best I can say for people who are walk-ins who haven't really contributed to any sort of, planning of this or cost involved is like, if you're at Fair Oaks Mall or within 30 minutes of there, send me the work information, the LinkedIn profile, or something that shows me who you are, how long you're looking for, and if I happen to be free within 30 minutes, I will show you how to get to the studio. It's really the best I can offer for people who haven't made the commitment to actually holding an exact date and time or willing to contribute to the cost involved. For me as a single mom, especially after the pandemic, especially the fact that ads are outrageously expensive, we lose a lot of money on Bitcoin tradings to even get an ad up because of the healthcare cost, the additional cost, because we're limiting how much exposure we may have wanted this year. Because there's cost involved in actually getting together. It costs me hundreds of dollars when you put in studios, childcare, healthcare, ads. This is a business. And so when people haven't really contributed to helping make sure that my time isn't being wasted, I'm more likely not to really hold out a lot of time in my schedule for that. I know that I can sell a pair of boots for $300 on my store and make it, and it's going to be there. So for me, Tantra has always been like, if it works in the right conditions and it happens to fit in where it's working for both people, meaning, there's cost involved, we're going to get together, I'm going to spend the time, I'm going to set it all up, I'm going to take time away from get a babysitter, I'm going to get transportation, I'm going to have a studio that's clean and sanitized and ready. Like, generally my preference is for people who understand that, this is something that it costs me money to do that, and they're willing to put the time and, give me some notice energetically and also towards the cost of setting this up. You would, text request my handle, Apple Pay, Zelle, or Cash App. I'm a little less stringent about the verification process because if you're a real person who's making the deposit, it kind of saves us both time. I know you're a real person, okay? Versus people who generally don't want to say anything about who they are. I mean, you're trying to make a good impression to your provider that you are somebody that she wants to spend that kind of intimacy and time with, and I would think that you'd want to give some information to make her feel comfortable about it. The only people I know that don't really ask those kinds of questions and don't really make it that hard for you to walk in the door is people laden with STDs who have 10 dicks inside of them a day, who aren't even going to shower between the cops or some sex traffic victim or some gang gal who came over from a border who everybody's watching to see what her next move is. To me, I think it's just common sense. That people who are educated, who think of these types of things, are going to, expect that maybe some questions might be asked regarding to meeting them. If you don't feel comfortable giving me any information, I'm probably going to say we're not a big fit, or I can just do a therapeutic session only. It won't feel the same as those people who actually did make you feel comfortable, okay? Now, when people put aside a time, that's great. You confirm the morning of, you get the address, the rest is due in cash. If you're paying as a walk-in, it's cash only, and there's no negotiating of the price when you come in the door. It's just kind of something like, I'm a licensed professional. For nearly 20 years, I've been in massage therapy, tantra therapy, energy master, sexuality therapy, holistic therapist. I have numerous, trainings in, energetic medicine, Ayurveda, Chinese medicine. I mean, this is something that my specialty is in: sex and sexuality, sexual energy, sexual trauma, sexual dysfunction, PE. You don't have to have issues to enjoy these arts, but it is something that people generally will come to me not only because they want to enjoy it and experience tantric massage or Kama Sutra, but they actually might also be experiencing some sort of issues, whether it's libido, whether it's sexual performance, whether it's maintaining an erection, whether it's sexual trauma. I mean, these are also areas that I work with. So, I find that when people ask me, which session should I go for? Well, if you're really just interested in getting a tantric massage, you can get just a tantric massage. But if you have any sort of issue that's going on that's, might need a little bit more time and focusing on, I would always recommend a 2-hour or longer to really dive into it, because there's a lot of different things that we do in the sessions. A 1 hour is not the same for me as a 3-hour in terms of all that goes into it and what we can do. So please don't assume that I cram everything in a 1 hour as I do in 3 hours. It's not like that. It's really how much time we have. And if I've met you before several times, you probably could get away with just doing an hour because you already know the moves and the techniques. You can kind of jump right in. But for generally people who are wanting to explore the other aspects of sensuality besides just tantric massage, or they want to go into Kama Sutra, they want to go into GFE and those kinds of things, you're probably going to want to go with a longer session, just so you don't feel rushed. I can't always extend it. When you're ready to screen and send the information, please be concise that you only send me this information when you're ready to schedule an exact date and time, at either putting down the deposit at the same time, to be concise. Because if you drop a message and then 3-5 hours later you didn't follow through, I am constantly deleting the messages that I don't think are really serious, and I don't keep people's information. So it's best to set up the appointment when you can give your full time and attention to it. Sometimes I'm using my phone and sending videos, or I'm scheduling other people, or I'm just talking with family members. I have a lot of international friends. I might be WhatsApp chatting with them. So I just say to people, it's a phone. Just go ahead and text me when you're ready to go, and I'm pretty quick about responding and setting that up for you as well. For the videos collections, I have almost 150 of them, so you can get 10, 20, 40, 60, 100, 150, all of them. And I basically send them through WhatsApp. It is one by one me sending them, so usually 20 or 30 of them go off pretty quickly, but if you're getting the entire package, it might take me a day or so to get through all of them. I am looking for a web designer, hint, hint, if there's somebody who wants to barter, building a website where this is linked up there and people just, purchase and download them as they can, because I don't imagine I would be able to send them as easily from Morocco once I'm there. So reach out if you're a web designer and you feel like you can do a project like that. But basically it's the same thing, just text request Apple Pay, Zelle, or Cash App for my handle. I send them through WhatsApp. They're very nice, and they're solo ones, and then there's the co-ed ones that come with the larger packages, and that's kind of the selling point. I don't separate packages, so please just let me know how many you want and which method, and I will send them to you. What else? So my session offerings, like I said, they're all listed there with links and videos. I really can't discuss my sessions over a text or telephone. This is called entrapment. Please don't put me in a position where I have to block you, because you might be suspicious to me as someone that I wouldn't really want to be revealing that kind of information. You may have to read a little bit between the lines, or literally read the lines there on my website to understand what these arts are about. They are different, and just because I don't present myself like your typical person you may see on these websites doesn't mean that it's not intimate or nude or fun or sexy. But I like to say that, I have sexiness with a conscience, or sexiness with a soul. It's kind of like if you're into tantra, you're into energy work, you're into body work, you're into, a sort of higher way of looking at your sexual energy and sexual life, that you'll probably get this and understand, you know, the flavor, so to speak. I put in a lot of my ads, I'm not the McDonald's girl, quick, fast, and easy, and hungry an hour later. I think a lot of people will either gravitate towards what it is I'm about and what these arts are about, or this isn't their thing. And a lot of times people may not understand that all providers are not the same, because my rates are reflecting the fact that I am a licensed professional, and that, you know, there is confidentiality with the people that I see. People appreciate that. It's something that you don't have to have a hard time explaining why you're seeing a licensed sex therapist, massage therapist, tantra therapist, and many people really do get that. So please understand, I'm not, you know, a trafficked victim, Kang girl, STD girl. I don't know. I'm just used to people sort of treating and speaking and interacting with me as a like-minded, intelligent individual that also happens to like sexuality practices. And so if you're into that and get it, please be respectful. You know, I might be busy with my son homeschooling or something, but please just know that I'm very, you know, consummate professional in valuing and respecting your time, and that this is why things are set up like this, basically. I'll look forward to receiving your text. As I'm only in Fairfax, Virginia at this time, it hasn't really made sense to do any traveling this year with the pandemic, with all the uncertainties that go into that. But that's not to say in the future I wouldn't. I just haven't currently really found much of a reason that it would make sense to. When I'm back in Morocco, like I say, I'll offer the virtual sessions, the videos, and things like that. But I'm not so sure I'll be making tons and tons of visits to the United States in the next few years. And so what I tell people is you want to kind of get in while you can, because the people who want me to keep in touch, I keep in touch with and let them know if I'm in town or something, but I may not forever be advertising that I'm available. So do try to make that time, if you haven't yet already, to make your introduction to me here. Sometime after Ramadan, I will be departing for Morocco. I have been away for far too long and have missed home very, very much. So I'll look forward to hearing from you and seeing you very soon. Namaste.